All right, folks, welcome to the People in Production podcast. This is episode 12, and for this episode, I have the opportunity to talk with Katherine O'Toole again. She's given us a preview of the month of March here in the Kansas City chapter of the KCNTMA. And Katherine's going to share some of what's going on in March and in April and in May and beyond. And she brings the Katherine energy. You're going to love her energy. You're going to love the vision. And I think you're going to notice her passion. She loves what she does and the people that she's doing it for. So check out this interview with Katherine on what's coming ahead for KCNTMA. All right, Katherine, we are back again. This is our March update where we give people a look at what we've done in the past and where we're going in March. And I just want to say, what a month February was. How did you feel about February with KCNTMA?
I feel like, I'm trying to settle my eye twitch because we got a lot going on, but we accomplished a lot of good things and it was a great month for us. I feel like it was a great month of coming together at our brew night, our networking night. We got to welcome our national chapter relations manager here to the Kansas City area. We got to go to Branson together. Ryan, you were an amazing presenter.
Well,
It
thank
was
you
awesome.
for that.
Yes, at the
It was
Midwest
great.
Manufacturer Show.
Let's break this up a little bit. So let's talk about the brew night,
Mm-hmm.
the member appreciation night. Let's be honest. What
Mm-hmm.
did you expect when you saw the forecast showing that it was like 12 below zero?
I
And
actually I had flashbacks to our very early in the month She Leads meeting where we brought in an amazing speaker from the Hutchinson area to address imposter syndrome. We had over 50 ladies RSVP. We started with a group of 8 up to 50. I was feeling ecstatic. And then we had this super sneaky ice storm come in and trap people on the highway for 3 hours, keep people stuck in their cul-de-sacs at home, schools canceled everywhere. And it was such an epic disappointment because she really brought it and it was such a great presentation. And I thought, this is going to happen again. It's negative 12.
right,
Nobody's going to come out.
you bring someone
What?
from out of state to come
Yes,
be
we've
part
flown
of this,
Carrie in. I mean, you can't go back on that. She's already coming. Her flight has landed.
right?
But I was shocked. We had over 60 individuals come out. It was a great night. People I didn't even know hadn't received an RSVP from. It was wonderful. The more the merrier. We wanted to celebrate members, potential members, answer questions, and we were able to do that. So it was a great success.
I love it. And I was I was at a conference that week and I was coming back and I was getting back that day. And then like on the drive back home, I
Mhm.
just started getting sick and I'm just like, nobody wants to be around me. And so
Oh,
I
love
really,
you, Ryan, but we
like,
didn't. We didn't want you to come.
but I knew I was missing out because you had a great guest, you had a great community plan, and I hated not being there. But what I love about KCNTMA, if you miss one thing, just join the next thing. You're going to be a
That's
part
right.
of the experience, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
So let's
absolutely.
talk
That's why
about,
we're trying to plan things at all different times of the day. I get it. I have 3 kids. Everybody has things all the time. Maybe a breakfast works, maybe a lunch, maybe a happy hour. So hopefully there's another option for people that miss something.
well, I love that. And so now let's talk about, we had several people, I think there were 10 or 11 people that went
Mhm.
down to Branson
Yes.
the later in the month of February. Tell us about the Missouri Association of Manufacturers trade show and conference. Uh, how did you experience that? What did you think of that conference?
Well, I'll lead with I have never been to a manufacturing trade show. So it was a brand new experience for me and over 130 vendor booths, powerhouse breakout sessions and speakers. I felt it was phenomenal and I think it was just a great time for our group as well. And Ryan, you got to lead a board training session for us. I think that we all appreciated that and the insight that we were able to take away from it.
Yeah, love it. You know, and at that session, what I did was I do an assessment tool with something called Acumax Index, and people take this, and then we can see how they show up in their workplace and what that means to the board. And we gained some really cool insights for our board, and it was a great conversation. And
Seeing
as
where
you
all the
said,
dots played
yeah,
out on the chart there and who was a
and
leader
see
in what area. Yeah.
where are our strengths as an organization and that type of thing. It was a lot of fun to go through that.
Mhm.
And I appreciated that opportunity. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, I got to do a workshop for the conference and just talk
Mhm.
about developing that mid-level leadership. How do we turn a technician into someone that's a supervisor and talked about some of the tools that organizations can use for that. So that was a blast. I really loved it. And
And I have to say, we went with a purpose, Ryan. Now, it's a ways out there, but we are jointly going to be hosting a manufacturing expo here in Kansas City in October with MAM. And we could not be more excited to welcome that group of individuals who are very strong in central and southern Missouri into our greater Kansas City community and showing off what our members do, really. And that's what that event is all about, to look at the capabilities of our member shops, to look at who does what best and who they can do business with to help them as well.
And so this is really an event
Mm-hmm.
for you as a manufacturer to
Mm-hmm.
come and brag on yourself. This is the quality of
Yes.
what we do. And
And
this
not
is
even that, set up a vendor booth. We want our manufacturers to showcase themselves. Now, I know some people are like, I'm not setting up next to my competitor. No, that's not what this is about. This year is about breaking down the barrier of competition, focusing on individual company strengths and playing to those. And we want to bring in the OEMs. We want to bring in the industry partners. But what we really want to focus on is our manufacturers and their capabilities. We want everybody to know what Kansas City manufacturing facilities can do.
Fred and I were talking about this a little bit. And again, this is coming out next fall.
Mhm.
So not to
This
be
fall,
confused.
2025. Yeah.
Or, yeah, yep,
Mhm.
this coming fall, excuse me. And not to be confused with this event we're going to talk about in a little bit in April.
Yeah.
But one of the things Fred and I talked about at the conference is, listen, this is an event for you to show your stuff so that
Mhm.
we can draw more business here. If you want to have someone from your team to see the other businesses in the area, make sure you bring multiple people so that one of
Yeah.
you can staff your exhibit and the
Mhm.
other person can go check out the other partners that they could collaborate with. Because
Absolutely. And I would say not just for this event, but for all of our events. Don't just
yeah,
bring one. And TMA is not limited to one individual. You should have quality there. You should have an estimator there. You should have a sales manager there. You should bring the people so that they can develop their networks, develop themselves as a leader, and benefit your company.
that's awesome.
Mhm.
Catherine, I love the energy you're bringing to it. We talked about what happened in February. We talked about
Mhm.
what's happening this coming fall.
Mhm.
Let's narrow in right now for those people that are listening. Let's talk about the month of March. I know
Okay.
uh, we are doing a joint thing in March on March 6th at 3 o'clock. That's just in a couple of days. We are having a conversation with the chapter executive director in St. Louis and with
Mhm.
you and with some members, and we're just going to talk about how to get the most out of your NTMA membership. So
Mhm.
that's just going to be a casual conversation just to offer some perspective to our members about what's going on and what they can do. So I'm going to be hosting that event. It's just going to be an online thing. And if you can't be there for the live thing at 3 o'clock, no stress. That's okay. It's going to be hosted at my Circle of Five YouTube page. So if someone wants to go to Circle of Five Coaching on YouTube,
Mhm.
check that out. But that's just going to be a fun conversation. What are you excited about connecting with Shelly and having this
Mhm.
conversation with the group of us
Well,
about?
St. Louis is a very dynamic chapter, and they're a long-standing chapter. They have a few more regular members, metal manufacturers, than we do. And they this year, I just heard Shelly report today on a chapter executive call. They're doing an event plus every month, also. So she is bringing people together, and they are turning up, and they are hopefully going to turn out for our joint chapter event here in April. And we are going to prep KC members for that joint chapter event with a leaders luncheon on March the 28th. That's a Friday. And we are going to talk about how to network for success. So, not just showing up, but showing up with a purpose when you come to these networking events. Like I said, St. Louis has it going on. We need to find out who these members are, what they're doing, and how we can partner together. There's really no reason to be sending things to the coast or out of our region if there's somebody here that can do it and do it well. So, let's start with St. Louis.
Yeah, I love it. So, and so many of our people are like, man, I want to give it to local business here in Kansas
Mhm.
City, but if Kansas City can't do it, who's
Mhm.
close to me that it's going to be
Yeah.
a good long-term partnership that we can develop right here in the Midwest so that we
Mhm.
develop a reputation as we are not flyover country. We have great production happening and great partners in
And I'll
the
tell you,
industry.
Ryan, I fielded an email this week about, well, in the past, this was my experience with NTMA. Well, you know what? What happened in the past isn't what's happening today. Our NTMA members want to support other NTMA members. We want to work together and we want to see each other succeed. So I think that this joint event is a real starting point for that.
So I got to ask this question.
Mhm,
Um, for the skeptic, for that
mhm,
person who's just not sure, um,
mhm,
I know NTMA has some policies about how can a person just come visit and see what
mhm.
it's like before they put money down and be a member. Can you tell a little
Yeah.
bit about that?
Absolutely. So we invite guests to attend a shop tour or an event and check us out. I feel like you can put into an email a blurb that states what you do and what your goals are, but I think that you really do have to come and experience our network to really develop an understanding of that. And then several times throughout the year, we're going to offer events for non-members, just like this joint chapter business summit, April 24th and 25th. There's a member rate and a non-member rate. And then we also have our very fun golf tournament, which is coming up May the 8th, and that is open to everybody. You can register a foursome and come out and play with us, or as a single also.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting, Catherine, is when people here come and network,
Mm-hmm.
it is not come and sell. This is not
Mm-hmm.
a selling
No.
environment. It's come and be curious,
Yep.
learn about potential partners, learn about what people are doing.
Yes.
I
And
hear
in fact, I
conversations.
will tell you, I have that awkward conversation with all of our industry partners and associates and let them know this is not a time to pass out your business card. It's not a time to solicit. It's a time to build relationships. And that
Yep,
needs to be authentic. And if your service is needed in the future, I would love to provide your information on behalf of you to a regular member. But let's keep that aside and let's have a great time at the event and focus on whatever the purpose of that event is.
yep. I love to promote just this idea of curiosity.
Mhm. Yes.
Learn about the people, ask questions.
Mhm.
You don't have to be a super high charismatic person just to sit next to someone and say, "Tell me about your company and
Mhm.
what's your ideal client
Mhm.
and do you have capacity for more business?" And just learn about them like that, and it
Mhm.
gives you the opportunity to help your neighbor, but potentially collaborate with your neighbor on something that you might need.
Yes, absolutely. And some of those conversations come a little easier when we're foaling or we're doing shuffleboard or we're bowling or doing one of the great events that we have planned this year as well.
Yep, I love it. Any other events happening in the month of March that you want to talk about?
Really, we've got our call coming up, and then we have that leadership luncheon. And I would love for all of our KC members to attend and get focused and get ready for that joint chapter business summit in April. So it's really kind of a precursor for, again, networking with a purpose. And I think it would be very beneficial.
Love it. Is there any She Lead events coming on the calendar in the near future?
Yes, I'm very excited to talk about this one, Ryan. April the 17th is our next She Leads meeting. And that She Leads meeting is a She Leads meeting, but it's going to run simultaneously with a half day female youth manufacturing immersive. That's a lot of words to say. We're doing
Oh,
a female youth event, and we are inviting all of the high school students, ladies, to come out and join us. So they'll join us for our regular She Leads meeting, which is going to have a leadership training session. We're going to tour Hutamaki. We're going to have a Q&A panel with industry frontrunners. We're going to have a large freight truck come through, and we're going to do a truck tour in the parking lot. Then we're going to head over to C&R Manufacturing, which is a small family-owned business, and we're going to be able to compare and contrast different types of enterprises being large and small and the different job opportunities and supports that are available for females that are interested in engineering, robotics, and any metalworking career.
outstanding. I love this. And Catherine, one thing that's so important, you have been an administrator for a lot of this stuff, but that event isn't happening because Catherine's making it happen.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
event is happening because you put together a team of people who want
Yes.
to see traction gained in
Mhm.
women in manufacturing.
And I will say, Ryan, it's amazingly unique when you sit with women on the She Leads executive board or you talk to women that attend meetings. They all have their own reason for attending. And mine is very different and it's very personal, as are the other ladies. And I think it's great that we all have a shared vision for wanting to educate and empower females in the manufacturing sector, and especially those that are the younger age females. We want to be those role models that we might not have had ourselves.
Love that. And, you know, Catherine, the other thing that I've got to point out is if you are listening to this podcast and
Mhm.
you're part of the Kansas City chapter of NTMA or the St. Louis chapter or any other chapter, if you want to be involved, there are ways for you to step in and
Mhm.
benefit the industry. It's not, yes, there's opportunities on the board potentially, but there's other ways that you can make a difference. And if you want to say, hey, I'd love to help set up
Mhm.
an event, or love
Yeah,
to help make some
absolutely.
contacts if you need someone to help
Mhm.
facilitate this. just let your executive director know
Yep.
how can we help.
And
I'm
that's
a
where She Lead started. It started with an idea. And I'll tell you what, do I feel qualified to have that idea or lead an organization? No, I do not. But I found when I presented that idea, other people recognized the need for it and got behind it. So I would say that any idea or suggestion that somebody needs that is valid is going to find support, and we are going to roll with it.
I love it. Katherine, you're doing a great job. I'm going to mention one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
As part of NTMA membership, we've invited anyone that's interested in being a part of our peer advisory group.
Yes.
It's a free peer advisory group for manufacturers. And our next session is actually going to be on, let me look and make sure I give you the right date. The whole
Oh,
month.
I've got it, Ryan. March the 10th.
March
March
10th.
the 10th from 2 to 3 p.m. right here on this
You
handy
got it.
dandy
I had
calendar.
it on the next page. So March 10th from 2 to 3. If you're interested, that's just going to be a conversation where I'm sharing some insights, and then we create a conversation within the community about what we do with these things in our industry. So really looking forward to that next session. I'll also
And
throw
Ryan,
out.
I have to say, I sent an email about this, and I'm so glad that we're doing this call today because I feel like, hate to say it, I send a lot of emails, but they are not meant to be burdensome. I understand and recognize how busy all of our members are, but I don't know the best way to reach them with all of the great things that we have going on. Yes, we can post that on our website. How many people are just going to electively jump on that? I'm going to go with maybe 10 out of 200. So I think email, we're trying this podcast. So if you are watching today, thank you for those that do read the emails. And if you don't, breakdown of the events one more time. Leadership Luncheon, March the 28th. She Leads event, April 17th. Joint Chapter Business Summit, the 24th and the 25th. And Golf, May the 8th. We are currently doing registrations for all of these. Then we throw in our peer coaching call, which is the 10th. And then this coming Thursday, our joint, do we call it a podcast? What do we call that, Ryan, with the St. Louis
It's actually a live webinar. We're just going to be
live
doing
webinar? It sounds
but
very fancy and I
we'll
like
discuss
it.
that later.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so much. How do we communicate it? I don't know, but it's all for the members, Ryan.
Yep. And we're having a blast doing it. And I'll throw out one other thing. I'm actually going to do, after the Manufacturers Association of Missouri, or Missouri Association of Manufacturers Conference, we just saw such a demand. I'm actually doing a webinar on March 18th called Why Your Leadership Funnel is Broken. Stop fishing in a pond you never stocked. That's what we're talking about at that event. And so if there's anyone interested, that's something that I'm doing with Circle of Five, just to help people rethink how are we shaping our leaders for the future. And I'm excited about that. But Katherine, dynamite job with what's happening.
You as well, Ryan. I'm so glad that you have that follow-up from our conference.
Yep, it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I want to thank everyone for listening. And if there is something that you're excited about, leave a comment, whether you're listening on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever you're listening to this, leave a comment. Let us know what you appreciated about this. And we are so grateful to have you as a part of our KCNTMA community. So
I've got to close with my cutest little office companion. Do you want to see what I'm working with today, Ryan?
Oh boy, let's see it.
I'll bring two. I got 8 of them.
Oh wow!
They wanted to come say hi.
You said you were going to get these. I didn't realize it had already happened.
So. Yes, it did.
All right, and Katherine, do they have names?
No, I didn't go that far. We're just trying to make it through night one.
Hey,
we'll see tomorrow.
That's awesome. Hey, I love it. Thank you for being on the podcast, and thank you everyone for being a part of the KCNTMA community.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
See you later.
Like I said, Katherine brings the energy. I have no doubt that you are just excited, fired up about it. You can see yourself involved in things in the future. Listen, if you are not a part of KCNTMA yet, as Katherine said, check it out. Come visit an event, experience what we're about, experience a community, and see if it's the right fit for you. We are a growing community of people, and they really value their partners. So come be a part of it. And if you want to know more about what's going on March 6th, we're going to be doing a live webinar, and I'm going to keep that online after that. You'll be able to hear more about what we're doing as part of being NTMA, which is a national organization. How do you get the most out of your benefits? So check that out as well. Thank you for being here. I love that you're a part of the People in Production podcast. If there's something that you're going to be a part of at a future event that Katherine talked about, leave it in the comments. Let us know what you can't wait for, and let's keep being the community that is so great. I'm proud of you guys, proud to be a part of it. Take care.